Welcome to Conversations on the Edge with Tom and TJ, where Generation X and Millennial talk about restoration, the Edge version 3, and the world.
All right. This is podcast number 6, I believe, with Conversations on the Edge. And we're honored here today. TJ's here with me again, and I'm honored to have Pat and Bob with AVID Restoration and AVID Plumbing and a whole bunch of other AVID stuff that's going on in Tampa. We're going to have some fun talking with them here in a second. But thank you guys for coming on. And we always start off with something fun. As you guys know from my classes, we always start off with something fun or awesome that's happening in your life. Doesn't have to be work related, but we are in the restoration world, so most of our stuff is work related in one way or another. And so, Pat and Bob, tell us something fun, exciting going on in your world right now. I will say that you guys are remote. Everybody is remote except for me today. I'm in studio. Pat and Bob are out of 7-Eleven somewhere between Tampa and
sipping on Slurpees.
It's kind of the life that we have. You spend a lot of time in your truck. The truck is the office, the mobile office. And
right.
Of course, TJ is on the racetrack, but we'll talk about that here in a second. He's also mobile. I'm the only one in the studio today. So, Pat and Bob, tell us something fun that's happening in your world that you want to disclose at this moment in time.
Fun. There's always fun, Tom. Thanks for having us. I'd love to tell you personal. I think personal is always good, but we have so much going on in business, it's hard not to talk about that. We're looking at new buildings, we're expanding our new building. The team is expanding and really doing great. It's just fun, exciting times to be in business.
Yeah. Nothing more exciting. Come on, you got to have something in there.
Well, my daughter's going to college, so I'll have one less kid in the house. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Hey, victory!
That's a monumental moment.
Exactly.
That is true.
It'll cost me more, but at least I'll have some more freedom.
Some peace.
Less headaches, hopefully.
Now, is this the same daughter that had her wisdom teeth out?
Yeah, hers were 2 weeks ago. The youngest one was this week. So, gotta keep that budget down,
Wisdom teeth.
We could share her video. That would be really fun and exciting.
Oh, that's hilarious.
She'd probably kill me, but
just thought her lip was gone.
Well, I have a history of dentists and work in this mouth. I inherited my grandparents' teeth, which they didn't have any, and I've worked like hell to save mine. And I have all of my teeth, by the way, but I do have implants. And I got so used to what's that thing that they do? Root canal.
Oh yeah.
Because I've had 12 root canals in my life.
Jeez.
3 on one tooth. 3 on one tooth. One tooth had 3 of them. I couldn't get it right, and then I ended up having that tooth pulled, and that was my first implant, and I got so used to doing the root canals that my last one we filmed. I was out in Nevada, and I filmed. I had my camera up, and I filmed it and put it on Facebook, and then I went skiing. If I got him with the needle, that long needle that they put in.
You're like a dentist retirement fund by yourself.
People are like, what the? But that's, you hang around me long enough, it's never a dull moment here. So, Welcome, guys. It's good to have you on. TJ is remote. He's zooming in with us today on Starlink, and you're on the track now. Now, explain the racing that you do, TJ. What are your
sport bikes? Sport bikes. I'm at Virginia International Speedway in the middle of nowhere. I mean, the closest city is Danville, which is BFE.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Now, we've been riding track all day. I just looked at my top speed on my timer for that last session was 136.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's fun.
Now, what kind of bike is it?
I have a Yamaha R1 sport bike.
Okay. I'm not a bike guy or a rider. I wouldn't be here with you guys if I was.
That's why I ride the track, Tom. It's the safest way to do it.
I've been gone a long time ago. The reason I don't own any weapons, I probably would have shot somebody a long time ago. So do you actually? Do you get on there and race, or just do times? What's your?
Yeah, today is just track time. So we'll do 20-minute sessions once on the hour. So I've done about 4 or 5 so far today. It's getting hot.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Cramping. I can't decide if I want to drink Gatorade or cold beer.
It's the weekend. You can do both. You know, you can add some vodka to Gatorade, and it's actually not too bad.
Maybe after.
Yeah, not while you're racing. No.
Yeah.
Later tonight. All right. Well, it's a pleasure to have you guys. You guys are both remote, or all 3 of you are remote. So I will keep it short. I'm going to try not to talk too much. So yeah, look at the time here. So we're going to be a little short one this time, but 45 minutes or so, 45 minutes. Whenever I say it's going to be short or we're going to have a short day, it always ends up being the opposite. So we'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time I've said that on the job, tomorrow's going to be a short day. Yeah. It ends up being the longest day of the job.
You're not allowed to say that on our jobs.
No, especially on a Friday.
Yeah.
Every single time. Yeah. And that's the joy of restoration in the world that we work in. But so we'll shift into the edge. And so we got a lot of really cool things going on in the edge right now. I can't talk about most of them. But there are going to be some really cool things that are going to happen here over the next 3 to 4 months. We're currently doing a lot of updates and everything, so everybody out there, a lot of cool things happening. So stay tuned. But today we have Bob and Pat with AVID, and like many people that have gone through the Large Loss Mastery training program, they were on the fence with the edge, and a lot of guys do that. They come through the class and it's like, yeah, Tom, that works out, that looks good, when you're doing it, but we don't quite get it, or is it really that good? Does it actually work like you're showing? And if you guys haven't seen the last episode 5, where TJ goes through an actual project, check out episode 5, because TJ walks through an actual project where he was in a competitive situation on the job. And TJ, you can probably tell the story a little recap of the story better than I can tell it. So I'll let you do that.
Yeah. I mean, it was a competitive situation. It was a commercial loss. It was a fantastic job, but 15,000 square feet combined between 3 facilities. And, the property manager called the competition, the property owner called us, and we basically showed up at the same time, and we're, trying to weasel our way to win the job. And I went out into the truck, fired up my computer, got on the edge, whipped out a scope of work and a budgetary number, and presented it to the property owner, standing right there 10 minutes later, and we won the job.
Nice.
Well,
Yeah, it's
they were
awesome.
they were still measuring. You were signing the job.
Yeah, the other guy was in there literally like with his laser tape, still measuring while I had my full ramen scope of work
Uh,
written.
I
It
bet
was
that was a
awesome.
great feeling.
Oh, it was. We made him look silly. He knew instantly. You could just
Yeah.
see the defeat in his
Well,
eyes.
in you know, and you feel bad, but it is business, and in this,
But do you? But do you, Tom?
I
I
do.
don't feel bad for him.
You know, there's,
Ah, they've taken jobs from us. I didn't feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
well, I feel bad because there's some poor guy out there that doesn't have the edge and doesn't know that the power is right there at his fingertips
He just picked the wrong company. He should have been working for TJ.
for
Right. I kept
eight
his
nine
card.
for $8.99. You could be winning those 6-digit jobs just like
Yeah.
just like TJ and and so get the edge for Christ's sake. I can't say it enough. So anyway, back to the classes. People go through the class and they don't quite figure it out. And Pat and Bob were two of those guys that went through the class. They actually won. They were best in class. They won. They won. We didn't have Astro back then. Astro's only been around a few years, and so, well, actually, I say a few years now, but that 3 years. And I mean, time just goes by so quick. And so it was a Tampa class that you guys were in, and tell me what your initial thoughts were when you were sitting in class and what you were thinking initially, and then what you eventually came around to believing in the edge.
I can. So when we went to the class, you took us to Tampa Stadium, and we were blown away by just, especially through the whole process, like, going through the whole stadium and being able to come up with an estimate that quick. We were blown away by it. There was no doubt. But then I think, like anything else, you go back to your normal day-to-day life. And I don't know if it's that you don't have the time to institute it or what. We saw the value immediately because we obviously went to two more of your classes,
Mhm.
so the value was there. We knew it was there. It was just really getting it instituted. And then, as the story goes, as Tom, we got into, I don't know, two or three very large projects. And that's when, of course, I called you immediately. And I think just having you there for that time to go through the estimates again, the edge, um, it gave me confidence in using it and teaching it.
Mhm.
So ever since then, we have used it on, I would say, 95% of our projects. Maybe some of the really small ones we haven't, but yeah, we now use it for every project. So
And you guys don't do any. You're mainly commercial. You don't do any residential or anything.
yeah, we're all commercial. And when like the smallest projects, I would say our average project is anywhere from, I don't know, 50 grand to 5 million.
Mhm.
Um, so, yeah, we're not doing any residential, no little, house jobs or anything like that. So,
Yeah, so I want to put a different perspective on that because Tom, if you remember when I came to the class, I was fairly new to the business. Left a corporate job doing large scale projects. So project management to me was second nature. In fact, you and I even got into those conversations right away. Um, just on scheduling and all that stuff. And I think it's almost, if somebody's been doing estimates the hard way for so long, it's almost like there's no way this can be that easy. And because even Bob said that, like, I just don't know if I trust it. I got to do the math, and I got to do, he was doing all the calculations that everybody does. We went through, we got to find a way to estimate. We got to find a way to estimate. And we finally both were like, why are we not using the edge? It's right there in front of us. Tom's given us his word that it works. We've seen the examples, and it almost was like, hey, dummy, this is right here in front of you. But it really was almost too easy to believe. So, there's so much snake oil in software these days, and everybody promises the moon. But it really was as simple as that, where, it was almost like, I just don't know if that captures everything, because we can do an estimate on a large job in 10 minutes.
Well, in what you said right there, man, it's too simple. It can't be that easy. Well, and the reason why we went and we gathered data, and we went and did everything that we did to create everything that is in the edge is so that it would be that easy. And that's actually, since I brought the original out, the basic out in 2020, it was just the calculator then. And people were just like, it's like, it was like snake oil. Tom's just selling snake oil, and but now, we're in 2025, and, we're 5 years out from when we first introduced it, and we're close to $2 billion have been estimated in it. We're probably right around 100 or 1.8 billion with a B, that have been estimated on projects, and in just the last 2 years. And so in that, we're not even plugging in, all the way up back to 2000, and that doesn't even take any, if you counted every job that's been done in it with all the formulas that we've been using over the years, it's well over $5 to $10 billion worth of projects. And so the proof is there. It's just, I guess, we live in a world where everything, we've turned some simple things into things that are difficult.
Yeah.
And so now when we don't have all these moving parts, and we don't have to do all of this other stuff, and it's like, man, that can't be it. But then when you start looking at the numbers are there.
Yeah.
And TJ, I know you know, and you've gone through all of
what something they said that struck me was, you don't have to capture 100% of everything on the front end.
Yeah.
It's capturing the bulk of it, and that's what it allows you to do and create massive efficiency.
Yeah, big time. Well, that one day, Tom, I think we did, I don't know, we might have done $6 million worth of estimates, and we got them all in one day. That was probably 4 or 5 hours. I don't even know. And you were teaching me, and they were all done deals. So, it was amazing.
Yeah, and there's no doubt. I mean, the tool is incredible if you give it the opportunity. I think too, just speaking of human nature and why people don't adopt it right away. In my previous life, I worked for a big corporation. I used to work for General Electric, and we would go to leadership programs, and they would teach us the things that they knew and they perfected and could truly change the business. And this was General Electric teaching it they had a place called Crotonville, and they would teach it. They would teach you how to implement it. They would do all those things, and everybody would go back to their own office, and it would all die on the vine, because that's not the way we do it every day. And it's harder to change somebody's thinking than it is to just let it go. So if they have a system that's working, it's almost like you don't know what you don't know. They don't know that they're really missing out. and they're really causing themselves a lot of wasted hours and energy when they don't have to. It's again, it's they don't know what they don't know, and if you're not giving the program a chance, they'll never understand it. But once you do, holy shit, it's
Yeah.
it's amazing.
DJ, you had something in there?
No, I just love what he was saying. You can go to all these courses, and if you don't go back and implement what you learned, and you see so many people do that, they don't take it and run with it, and they just let it sit on their desk. I'm guilty of it too. I've done it,
We all
and
are.
it's very easy to get sucked back into your daily, life, and especially in your business. You just get these blinders, and you can't even see outside of them.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah.
Well,
But you watch the people that take it and implement it, and then it's just they take off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's true in big corporations too, because and GE being one of the biggest, but the people that did pay attention and did take something out of that class, they probably did excel, because they were buying into the vision.
Absolutely. And I think, Tom, we've talked about this a little bit before where, owners of restoration companies will send people in their company, kind of go check out the snake oil, go see what this is about. And then they come back and say, I've got this amazing tool. And if the owner's not completely bought in, or whoever the decision maker is, then it dies on the vine again. So if you're not in the class and you don't truly experience what the tool offers, I think that's what happens too. And we experience that also in GE. You send somebody who's not the ultimate decision maker to learn this amazing information and all these tools, and then they go back to the office and it just dies. So I think that it's unfortunate because, man, once you start using it and really once you get good at it, it just saves you so much time. And I mean, we did a job last year where they point blank told us, if you can give us a price and have equipment here today, you got the job. And if we would have been estimating that the old way, we never would have been able to have that to them that day. It always took us 2 days to do a really big estimate.
Yep.
So, I mean, the tool, it's not an $899 tool or whatever you said it was. It's a multi-million-dollar tool.
Yep. Yeah.
So, I mean, my message to restoration companies is you can't afford not to do it, let alone afford to do it. I mean, if you don't, it's a shame. But selfishly, I hope none of them do. at least here in Florida, just pretend the edge doesn't exist. Tom McGuire's not there. Selfishly.
Well, and so we're on here today for everybody listening with two people that use the edge, and you just heard multi-million-dollar projects. And TJ has done almost 300 estimates. If I was looking at the totals right,
and I use it on residential. I mean, I use it on small jobs, big jobs. Like, it doesn't matter. And once you get proficient at using it, probably like to where you guys are now, you can walk into a building and look at the loss and know the square foot number off the top of your head where you want to be.
Oh, it's second nature. It's second nature. And somebody could call me up, and I love being put on a spot too, to where it's like, no, it's not. And then start feeding me some data on a project. Give me the data on your project that you've done, and boom, boom, boom. Well, look at there. We're 10 or 12 or 15% off, and we did that in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And in all reality, if you have the data and you're plugging it in, once you have the experience, and TJ will say, it's 10 minutes, and it's true. But you still have everybody out, and for those of you listening, if you have to use Xactimate, and we say this every podcast, that Xactimate needs a companion. And the Edge is the companion tool for Xactimate. And so what you do is you use the edge on the front end, get your budget number, start the job, get the job, move forward with the job, and do your Xactimate on the backside. And you satisfy everybody. You satisfy the adjuster. You satisfy everybody that needs Xactimate, because to the client, it doesn't matter if it's Xactimate or time and materials. Client doesn't care. All it is a number to the client and the scope. And so, in fact, they're not going to read all those line items that you're going to have in Xactimate anyway. And so remember that this is a companion tool for Xactimate. And if you have Xactimate, you should have this right beside you too, and using both of them, because that's what TJ does right now. I know Pat and Bob, you don't do a lot with, because you're doing mostly commercial and you don't do any TPA work or anything like that. And so, and I'm a time and materials guy. I'm an old school dude. I hate the fact that guys are working so hard on estimates today. They're doing things that we never did in the past. And ladies and gentlemen, we're still doing exactly the same work. And you guys have heard me say this a million times. We're still cleaning, we're still drying, we're still demoing. It's the same dang thing that we've been doing since the 80s. Nothing has changed. We have some new tools and all that, but we're still doing exactly the same work. Nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Not rocket science, as you've heard me say a million times. People try to turn it into, rocket science, but it's not. We're still just cleaning, drying, or demoing, or reconstruction.
Well, and there's also the tools too, Tom, of just the, we're not a huge company, but our guys will do use the edge, and it's nice to have that, price per square foot check, because you can see, normally are we close? And then, like Pat always talks about the production rate, so I bet a lot of people in our business are not using production rate. I'm sure a lot of the good guys are, but because a lot of people haven't been taught that, so not only is it for estimating, it's also for managing. So I think if you get, and you hear a lot of people are, wanting to get into commercial, which that's a good thing for them. But it definitely, you got to not ratchet up your management of your guys. It's not just, go in and do a quick job and get the heck out. It's just more complex. Not to say it's the hardest thing in the world, but using those production rates and those type of things.
I mean, I've seen guys that do an Xactimate, and it's if they're not managing their guys, the Xactimate ends up eating their lunch.
Yeah.
Because they're not truly looking at, what is this job going to cost me? How many people do I need to get X amount of square footage done a day? Where an Xactimate gives you the total, but it doesn't give you that, I need 10 guys and they each need to be doing this. So at the end of every day, you can look at your production rate, say I'm on or I'm off, and then adjust your schedule accordingly. Xactimate gives you none of that, at least not that I know of.
Yeah.
There is a yield part of it, TJ, isn't there, within Xactimate, but it's not like a straight production rate like we're looking at with the edge.
No, it doesn't. It's an average yield that is spread across, all kinds of different environments, and you're taking that yield and assigning it to basically every single job. And it just, averages never work like that when you're tracking production metrics.
Yeah. And so
I'm curious. I've got a question for you guys. How do you feel like your clients understand your estimating and scope a lot better since you've started using the Edge?
Yes, I mean, we have we never used Xactimate, but a couple of times we had to, hire somebody to do an Xactimate for us, and you put that with us, because we're dealing with building owners mostly.
Yep.
And you put an Xactimate in front of them, and it was like you put a foreign language that they didn't know.
Well, I mean, anybody, it doesn't matter. They own a home or a building. I mean, it's Spanish to them.
Yeah, so with this, writing the summary and job scope, obviously you can kind of do it in layman's terms to where they understand it. And then reading the estimate, it's very clear. There's nothing
It just flows
foreign.
because when you have you put the exclusions as well, and
Yeah.
it's very clear that. So, I mean, to answer your question, TJ, yes, but for many reasons, and you really don't have to. It's not like you build it in the edge and then have to do something else to present it to them. So
For us it's been just it's way better. Everything's there, everything. I mean, it's just, yeah, and we're not just saying that, obviously. So yeah, it's been way better.
Well, it's one thing to say it, but you say it because you're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers prove it. We're using it, and the numbers prove it. So, yeah, you don't really have to say anything besides that.
well, and both you guys, TJ mentioned it too, but if because I don't review all estimates anymore, neither does Bob. But if we have a question, all we need to know is the square footage and square footage price.
Yep.
And we know automatically, you guys need to go back to the drawing board, or okay, that sounds good.
Yep.
We never looked at it that way before. You had to read through each estimate to see truly what it was, what's the scope, on and on.
Yep.
But now, like TJ said, I can pretty much tell you that with those two things, I know where you're at.
Are you guys tracking your production rate on each job now and building out like a database of historic
We're
production
not
rates?
we're not as technically savvy as you, so we'd love to learn how to do that. But we were this morning on a job. We were just checking the production rate to see, are they on track, are they not on track, and then talking about, which they were a little off track. So just using that was a huge help. And we're not, once again, we don't have to go into every little detail, because if the estimate is correct, then which that would be correct on our part, not because of the software, then they should, it should be on track. And with that one, they're a little off. But once again, it's just so easy to manage by using that. It's helped us out tremendously with that. But I would love to learn how to do all that stuff, TJ.
Well, I mean, you don't have to leverage, technology. You can do it with a simple spreadsheet. You just got to start doing it,
Yeah,
because the formula is simple, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Bob's joking a little bit, but we actually just started looking at tracking that on each job. I mean, last year we tried to track it, but we had several project managers that weren't quite on board yet. That was because the chaos of the storm season. And we haven't really done it this year as close as we need to.
Well,
and most of our work comes in the back half of the year, being fully transparent. I mean, we get jobs all year, but the big stuff comes from and it's not even storm work. I mean, it just happens where, the later part of the year, we start getting crazy.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Leave some fishing time in the summer.
That's right.
Well, one of the key things in growing business too, and Bob and Pat, we'll be working with you on building that element out. And what have we done in the past? We'll dive into that, in the near future, and so we'll have more to talk about there soon.
Yeah.
But
that sounds like a secret, Tom.
Yeah, I got lots of secrets today.
I can't wait to hear more about that one.
Well, there's a lot going on in my world, but it's all good, and it's all about the next phase of everything. And the edge is a year from now. The next generation of the edge is going to be ridiculous, and very excited. It's going to have AI built into it and everything. And I can't say anything more than that, but not to jinx anything that's happening, but yeah, it's going to be really cool. Very excited about. I don't have, kids. You guys, both you guys, all you guys have kids. I don't have any kids. My children are my children. One of my kids is the Edge. The other one is Large Loss Mastery. And then the other one is me. So I actually have 3 kids. And I'm the most difficult one out of, I have to get on my ass all the time.
Yeah. That's funny.
And I don't give myself any slack either. I probably should be better at that. But I'm I keep an eye on my blood pressure. My blood pressure is fine right now.
There you go.
But and it's fun, I get to see my kids grow up. And this year's been tough with the classes because everybody and their grandmother has a large loss class this year for some reason. And I mean, every time I turn on LinkedIn or Facebook, somebody's doing a large loss class someplace.
And most of them don't talk about project management.
Well, and there a lot of them focus on equipment, and I don't focus on equipment. You can go to those classes for your equipment. Come to my class when you want to learn the management. The management part of it is the most important piece. If you don't manage the job right, then all is lost. You can have the best looking equipment on the planet,
Yeah.
and the best looking job, everything's all lined out perfectly. That don't mean crap if you're not managing your dollars.
Yeah.
You'll be wondering at the end of the job, why didn't we make any money? Well, that's what large loss mastery is about. And so, we're still having a great year, actually. Just a little bit off of attendance from last year, but it's we added a lot of new things this year. We added our online university, which is really cool, and got to work with my mentor Mickey Lee on a few pieces, just before he passed. And so I'm very proud of, a lot of that stuff that's happened, and new versions of the Edge. And we've got a lot of stuff, a lot of data that we got on the Edge this year. And so really excited about what's happening. You guys still good on your connection there?
Yeah, we got an incoming call. I'm trying to cancel. There we go. Oh, that's the thing.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, you guys better come to Tom's class at the end of the year. That's the best one. I'm gonna try my best to be there. I'm pretty sure I will.
Is it the party?
Where's that? Which one?
We're in Cape Canaveral. The end of the year. Yeah. Well, maybe that's what we'll do. We'll make it it's my favorite class, and so maybe we'll make it a big year-end party this year.
There you go.
Sounds like
I
a
like
plan
that
to me.
idea.
Bottle of that fancy tequila, Tom.
It'll be on me. But
we'll get TJ down to Daytona. Get him on that track on your bike.
Ooh, you don't got to pull my arm.
Oh shoot. Well, guys, we're just a short day today, so we'll just wrap it up with some last final comments. I'm very happy that everybody had time today. Everybody's remote except for me. And I'm getting ready to, right after this, it's Friday, as we always do these on Friday. And so afterwards, there's always a cold beer waiting someplace. I gotta go to the gym first, but so Pat and Bob, you got anything that you want to say as we close out?
I would just say, if anybody is on the fence, like, try it.
Give it a shot. Yeah.
And the one great thing, Tom, is anytime we've called, you've always answered. And I don't know if people know that, but anytime we've had a question, you've helped us out with it. And maybe sometimes people are a little, you go to the class and you might not look at it for 2 months and you forget some things, but I mean, you were able to help, and I'm not joking, 2 minutes, because you know it so well. And when we talk about those numbers, I mean, maybe to some people that's not huge, but to us, that's a lot of money. And those are true stories. So we got those jobs using the edge, and we wouldn't have been able to do it without it. I mean, there's, once again, no BS. So if you are getting into, and TJ uses it for smaller jobs, but if you're getting into any commercial and you need something that really works, do it. Just do it. That's all I can say. Don't put it off. I wish we wouldn't have put it off, but we did. So.
But you're on the edge now, and that's all.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you.
I'm not going back.
Well, I'm a keep it simple, stupid guy, and I believe in using the data that we have, make your life easier, not more complicated. Crap, we got enough, things taking up our time, and we should all be doing more things like TJ, out racing motorcycles today. And so that's that's what it's all about. It's about quality of life, and you have a better quality of life if you're not entangled in things you don't need to be doing.
Yeah.
TJ, anything on the way out?
No, I mean, I would just echo to anybody that maybe has taken the class and gotten the edge, but hasn't necessarily started using it, to sit down and do your Xactimate, and then right after that, do an estimate in the edge, and do that 20 times over, and then you'll fall in love.
Yeah.
Once you make that connection, and then it's on. Then you'll have all of the adjustments in your head.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And it, like anything else, it just keeps getting easier and better as the more you do it. So
yeah,
and that's what it's all about. So it's about making your life easier, getting to your numbers quickly. We used to agonize over big numbers, and Bob and Pat, those aren't small numbers. When you're talking $5-6 million worth of work, that's not small. Those are big numbers. And small jobs are the same. It doesn't matter, big job, small job. They're all the same, and we should all be using our data. We're all sitting on our data. And if you don't know how to use your data, get a hold of me at tom@largelossmastery.com, and I will gladly set you up, and we'll get you trained on how to use your data. It's all about data. And as we live in this AI world, and AI is all about data, and you're probably about 8 months away from being bombarded with all this brand new technology that's all based on data. And that's what the edge is right now. I joke with everybody, the edge is AI before AI was a buzzword. We've been using data for nearly 30 years, with the formulas that are in the edge. And that's what makes it so effective, and the reason why it works. Because the only question you have to ask about your software is, does it work? Does it do what you want it to do? If it doesn't work and it doesn't do what you want it to do, then what good is it?
exactly.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. It was an absolute pleasure talking with you guys. Thank you for taking the time out of your day today.
Thank you.
And we will chat at you soon.
Yeah.
All right,
Thanks,
yeah.
Tom. We appreciate it.
Bob and Pat, I'll see you in Tampa next week.
Yep.
All right,
TJ,
thank you.
take care.
I'll
Have
see you
fun.
guys at the year-end Large Loss Mastery party.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Have fun at the track.
Thank you guys. Have a great day. Great weekend.
All right, guys.
Yep. You
Cheers.
too. See ya.
Bye.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening to Conversations on the Edge with Tom and TJ. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And if you like what you hear, leave us a review. Join us next time for another Conversation on the Edge.